Hey, everybody. I made it. I did not die. But I need everybody to bear with me a little bit this week because I'm not drinking, but I'm hopped up on Oxy. Actually, not Oxy. The Oxy really threw me for a loop. Tramadol, Tylenol, but a myriad of medications. I did ask the doctor about drinking. He said GTFU. You probably know what that means. So there's no drinking at least till I see him next Thursday. So the hospital was a very interesting experience. I got up that morning and, I was the cleanest man in the world because you got to clean with special soap for 3 days. You get there, they like hose you down like you're in Silkwood to make sure everything's off you. So as I said, I'm almost my normal self, except that I'm not angry, I'm not drunk, I'm still old, and I'm still Mac. So everything's going well so far. So I hobble in there and I get in the holding room. Right, and there was an older dude getting surgery. So there are 4 people in the holding room, and I was the first or second person there. They wheel the old guy in, and the nurse comes in. She's taking his vitals, and he says, "What do you think I'm here for?" And the nurse goes, "I don't know, maybe a heart test." "No, they're jamming they're jamming a camera up my penis to take a look to see if everything's okay." To the nurse's benefit, not what I thought. That would not have come to my mind on the first take. This guy was hysterical. He couldn't stop talking about his penis and the camera. I don't want to ask any questions, but he sounded like a typical old dude infatuated with penis and camera. I mean, not what I would be infatuated with, but teach his own. So as I sit there, the time goes by. So the next person comes in is Dr. Lauren. Dr. Lauren is the anesthesiologist. So, Dr. Lauren, I'm sitting down in a chair. She's like 10 feet tall. So she comes, she tells me what I'm going to do. So she has to give me the spinal. She's got to give me the thing to knock me out. But she has to give me 2 shots at the top of my thighs, one in each leg, because it was a double knee replacement, and to give the nerve block. So she says, "Hey, Mike, just so you know, you're not wearing any clothes in there. I'm making a little show." Serious, did my wife talk to her? Oh, was it a little show? Was it a small show? She's calling me little. Again, more penis, I'm not even sure what they were talking about. Dr. Lauren, fantastic. Everything went well. Knocked out in 2 seconds. I got into the operating room. They gave me the spinal. They said, "You're going to feel this in a second." Don't remember anything else. Next thing you know, woke up, had no idea where I was. Lights everywhere, and they're getting me up to walk. Like, that felt great. So, now, before I even get in there, I get another little knock on the side, and here comes the chaplain. So the chaplain rolls up and just starts chatting with me for half an hour. And I'm thinking, did my wife talk to this guy? Is there something I should be really concerned about if the chaplain wants to talk to me before I go to surgery? He says, "Can I offer you a few prayers?" As we know, I am one to never say no to some prayers. You got some prayers going my way? I'll take them every time. They certainly aren't going to hurt, and believe me, I've lived some life. I could certainly use some extra prayers. As I said, everything went well, though. The only question I have for the doctor, why would you give a man who has celiac disease and bowel problems already and can't get out of bed laxatives with his medication? Not working out well. It doesn't mix with not getting out of the bed. But I digress. Just a little warning. Now, so I get home and I start reading the newspaper, watching the news, because obviously I can't sleep, hopped up on Oxy, I gotta stay on my back. So sleeping's really out of the question. Nobody here wants to help me, even though they do, because nobody keep quiet. I said, I'm here at home, I'm like sequestered, it's a captive audience. So I think my wife saved up every single thing she needed to talk to me about for the last 6 months in the 2 weeks that I'm pretty much bedridden. Thanks for that. So, I'm reading the newspaper, and Teddy Roosevelt, there's a statue of him in front of the American Museum, and it has the black person and the Native American, and the statue is about 3 heroes. It was made by a Native American as a symbol of heroism by 3 different ethnic races. It's great. It's been there forever. Has to come down. It is racist. It is bad. So this continues to go on. However, in Jersey, they will build a 700-pound statue of George Floyd, who held a gun to a pregnant woman's belly. Just saying, getting killed apparently makes you statue-worthy. Not sure where we're going with this in this country, but it's got to end. It's got to end. I did learn that down south, where fried chicken and watermelon is a pretty popular dish, if you offer it to people that are black, you have become a racist. Didn't make a difference if the people who chose to serve those foods were black. So, if you have any friends that have color, any black, please do not offer them fried chicken or watermelon ever. Try to think of the whitest food you could possibly think about. Maybe some pasta, some vanilla ice cream, cream cheese, bagels. Nothing that could be remotely connected to the black culture. Just saying, you don't want to be that guy. Now, still trying to figure out why down in Georgia voter ID is such a racist thing. I mean, you get an ID for everything. I still can't figure it out. Again, in the comments, when you subscribe or leave a comment, please tell me why. Why is it racist? I don't understand. Oh, my God. And this whole thing with critical race theory, if you look at it, it tells you about the color of people's skin and how white people are superior and all this. You know what believes in critical race theory? Racists, the Ku Klux Klan, neo-Nazis, white supremacists. They love the critical race theory. I don't know, maybe that's a reason we shouldn't get behind this thing. Just saying, sounds a little crazy to me, but who knows? Again, hopped up on Oxy. Anything I say should be taken with a grain of salt this week. Another thing I need to know. Apparently there was an argument at Starbucks. Not really sure what this Starbucks was, but a white woman was talking to a woman of color and her child, and she said to the child who had a mask on, she said, "Oh, how old are you?" She goes, "What are you, about 14? The kid was 11. Apparently, this was a microaggression! First of all, what the hell is a microaggression? You're either aggression or not aggression. Just a small aggression, so should you be a little offended? And aggression is really offended? Enough with putting labels on everything. Everything doesn't need a label. She made a mistake. The kid was a little older. I don't know, was the kid 7 feet tall? Was the kid short? Did the kid look, 11, 14? She didn't say he was 30. She said he was 14. But people need to be offended. This is never going to end. It's never, ever, ever going to end. I'm also starting to think that shoplifting, that is okay, is just a form of reparations. That's it. That is a form of reparations without sanctioning reparations. Take what you want, any chance you can get. Go knock yourself out. Not a big deal. So, then we have in Seattle, they had the Pride Fair in Seattle. Now, at the Pride Fair, if you were white, you had to pay a reparations fee to get in. Only if you're white. Everybody else was free. Who's lining up to get in there? Really? What kind of self-respecting human being are you? And how much guilt are you holding on in your life that you're paying a reparations fee and you're the only one paying? I got an idea. Get a life! Duh. So last week, before I went, it was Father's Day. Everybody knows that. Father's Day. I got to take a glass of water because I got to drink about 6 of these every day. Once again, go to the laxatives and go to the bathroom 100 times for a guy who can't walk is not good. Digression. More digression. So Father's Day, going to the cafe, Grace Gelato. If you're ever in Belmore, International Delight Cafe, fantastic. I go get my gelato. I walk in. There's a family of 5 sitting there. Dad's on the phone. Mom's on the phone. Kids on an iPad. The other kid's on an iPhone. The other kid's on look like some kind of other video game. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know what's wrong with our society? These electronic devices. Knock them out of their hands when you see it. Forget the kids. The parents set a better example. We sit down for dinner, all electronic devices are gone. Done. It's a time to talk. You want to turn the radio on lightly? Go ahead. Talk to your children and to your spouse. You'll find it will work out. Or just give them electronic devices and nothing will work out. Then you'll get entitled children, people, and worse humanity. Now, this is an interesting one. So when I come back, I see Uncle Joe. And Uncle Joe does this. I'm going to tell you something. You're not going to know what it is. So he's having a press conference and he starts whispering into the microphone. Well, Joe, you're the President of the United States. The President of the United States doesn't whisper into a microphone. The President of the United States talks into the microphone and takes the command and respect. Do you know who talks into a microphone and whispers? A mental patient, an elder person who is in the memory ward unit of a psych hospital. That is who running our country. Again, no refunds. Now, why are we still continuing this police reform? Should there be some change? Absolutely. But how about we reform the communities who are committing the crimes? Hey, apple falls from the tree, somebody picks it up. The crime is the apple falling from the tree. Here's the idea. No crime, less police interaction. It really isn't difficult. Stop committing crimes, and we don't need reform. Just behave yourself. Wish I'd give everybody a timeout. Whew. Then we have some genius mayor in Colorado decided that at their meetings, their community meetings, they're no longer going to say the pledge first. So he just decided they weren't going to do it. So thank God we have some true Americans got up and said, we're going to say it. And the mayor called the cops. I got one guy needs to be voted out. Don't know what the mayor's name is, the mayor in Colorado, but he's a moron. You don't want to be here, you don't want to say the pledge. Hand in your title, resign, and get out of here. You can go live in some communist country. See how that works out for you, you fool. Oh, you know what I'm sick of? I'm sick of when you're talking to these people. You know how somebody's low IQ? That when you're having a discussion, and the discussion, not an argument, a discussion, and the discussion doesn't go well for the other person, and you're, I don't want to say winning or losing, but you're making your points, and you are clearly on a better side, and the person goes, oh, you must have voted for Trump. What? We're talking about the New York Islanders. We're talking about hockey. We're talking, why did Barry Trotz put Leo Komarov in the game? 1 goal down, 4 minutes left. Oh, again, now that made me very angry. Leo Komarov. Squirrel's better than Leo Komarov. Unbelievable. So, and the squirrels. Speaking of these squirrels, they're taking advantage of my sequestering. The other morning, my wife was up doing something. I don't know what she was doing, but I usually make breakfast. I couldn't make breakfast. So they're eating ice cream sandwiches, drinking Sprite. These squirrels are pretty bright. They know Mom wasn't paying attention and Dad wasn't making breakfast, so they made their own. I was a little proud of them, just so you know. Now, let's talk about this. We've got a couple of bozos with advice. Husband writes in, The Angry Mac. Listen, I got a problem. I feel very pressured and obligated to get my wife gifts on her birthday or anniversary, Easter, all of the big holidays. It's a lot of pressure for me. I shouldn't feel obligated. What should I say to my wife? Honey, I want a divorce. What's wrong with you? What should you say to your wife? Get her a gift. How hard do you want to make your wife? Your life? It is insanity. Get her a gift. Get her something. Get her a card, flowers, or see a divorce attorney. You may be the dumbest man on the planet. Maybe you need to ask her, what should I get my wife? Because you belong in a mental hospital too. And the last one. Really odd. Grandma writes in. To a therapist, not to me. I just picked it up on the side. Dear Anne, I watch my granddaughter every Saturday night because my daughter is a single mom who had a child young, and I'd like her to be able to live a life and do some things. So every Saturday night she stays here, but every Sunday morning we go to church, and then we go to breakfast. The other day, my wife realized that I started taking her to church with me and was furious. What should I do? Okay, what should I do? Well, the therapist, who I completely disagree with, said she was, she overstepped her boundaries. She overstepped her boundaries. I got an idea. You know what, Grandma? Tell your daughter to sit her ass home on a Saturday night and rue the day she had this child. And maybe if she made better decisions, she wouldn't have the child. I'm glad she kept the child, but you know what? This is what happened to your life. And the grandma is there to help you. How dare you? Perhaps if you spent more time in church and listening and making better decisions, you wouldn't be in this position. And I'm not talking about the position of having a child because it's a miracle. I'm talking about the position of being a moron to your mother. Oh, now that's it. That's all I got this week. I don't know. Again, I'm going to finish my Oxy. Hopefully this will be done. I want to be off this pain medicine any couple days. Anybody who sent me a message, a get well, good prayers, anything, thank you. I appreciate it. Anybody who didn't, not that important anyway. Cheers, everybody. I love you all. Go find somebody. I survived, but you don't know who's not going to survive tomorrow. Find somebody, give them a hug, tell them you love them. You don't even get an hour with that one. See you next week, hopefully with alcohol.